I beat Deltarune while cutting. The moral of the story is that I'm starting the series where I am cutting while actively being Deltarune. If you like Deltarune and you like the gym, smash that like, comment, and subscribe. The whole series that I've been doing so far has been me playing Deltarune while talking about fitness because I do love the gym and I love to get absolutely jacked. While at the same time, since I was a little kid, I started playing Undertale and that was a huge part of my life. So if you enjoy either of those two things, make sure you stick along. So on this video, I'm going to be talking about the cut, what my journey is going to look like, and how you guys can learn alongside me as I go down and cut. So here's the beginning of my journey. Started at this weight and I got this physique here. So I cut down to about 160 and then I started gaining up to 180. So looking a little bit more like, a little bit softer, a little bit bigger, but at the same time, I am liking the gains that I've made so far. A lot of people in the fitness community talk about bulking, cutting, and some people talk about main gaining. Me, I like to bulk and cut. I think it's really fun. I think that you get a lot of motivation going into a new bulk, or you get a lot of motivation going into a new cut. So now I'm 180, cutting down to TBD, but I'm going to play Deltarune while cutting. We're going to follow this series, and yeah, if you like either or, let's go. The whole point of this series is I like talking about fitness, and I also love Deltarune, and I think a lot of people like Deltarune. So if you want to just chill, talk about fitness a little bit, stick along. So what type of person should be actively trying to put on muscle, or what type of person should be actively trying to lose weight? I would say Susie. Susie's pretty jacked. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell she's strong. Chris, they got that strength, Chris be putting up some low-key numbers here and there. And yeah, we won't even get into the other characters because, they ain't lifting that ton of weight. But anyway, so yeah, Deltarune has been a big part of my life just because I think the story, if I'm going to be honest, if you're scrolling reels, I think you're doing a lot more damage to your brain than if you're playing something like Deltarune. Deltarune's an art, and I think everyone has the right to enjoy that art. So the whole Deltarune and Delt series that you see on my channel is basically me talking about fitness and Deltarune at the same time while you see me playing in the background. The footage here, I won't be doing a let's play of Deltarune because I honestly think having the footage in the background is the best part about it. But every video so far, you can watch me chronologically go, and we're in chapter 2. So we got 3 more chapters. So by the time we're done with that, there has to be a way that we have to be close to beating it by the time I'm done cutting. But so make sure you stick around because the final part of the series, I'm probably going to be shredded. So I guess some common cutting questions. I already covered that in one of the last videos, who should cut. But I do think that if you're above maybe like a 20 to 25% body fat, it's kind of hard to understand what level body fat you're at. It's something that's ambiguous, and a lot of people struggle to, confidently say oh, I am this body fat, or I'm not this body fat. A lot of the times people are a little bit biased towards themselves. They may think that they're either lower, or they may be self-conscious like I am and overestimate the amount of body fat that they have. But either way, that can impact your gaining or losing rate because of how you personally feel. So yeah, be like Chris, nonchalant. Just lose that weight or put on the mass. Now, if you are going to bulk, I think that some important parts about the bulk, because, a lot of Deltarune players, you guys may be a little bit younger. I would say that if you are trying to get into the gym, I would say nailing your fundamentals is step 1. So say you have no idea what you're doing. You're a beginner. You just started going to the gym. And you're asking yourself, where do I even begin? Well, I think step 1 is you're going to need to lay out a framework for what you're trying to grow, right? So I think it's really easy to split it into the chest or push-pull legs. You hear that a lot. I think that's a very simple split to get into because it's easy to follow and it's easy to program. Push day, think about it. Any motion of you pushing away from your body, you're going to be doing. So say your chest, your little chesticles here, we're going to do a little pressing motion or a fly motion. Does the same thing. It's going to target your chest. So have 1 or 2 of those movements for your chest. For triceps, you want to have a push down of some sort, pushing the bar down with a rope, and then usually some sort of overhead extension. That'll do good for you. And another thing is you want a JM press of some sort where, so say you're coming down here and you're pushing down. It's also important to have a press where, say you're on tricep dips and you're bringing that bar here and up. So that extension is really good, really important for you too. I would say that you don't have to overcomplicate it in the beginning. You're probably going to nail every muscle just by working out because your body will like understand like what's going on. Um, but yeah, and then I would say for triceps, so then now we have shoulders for your push day, day one. I would have some sort of overhead press. So if you see the shoulder press, like get really strong at that machine. What I've been doing lately is pressing with my hands in instead of out, pressing up, and then the whole time I'm driving through my shoulders, right? Whole time I'm driving through my shoulders. Then mixing a lateral raise, right? So that'll work the side delt. And then that's day one, chest day. Back day, let's keep it simple too. This is simple stupid for people just trying to get into the gym. You know, they have no place, they don't know where to start because I think everyone should be lifting weights in some capacity. You don't have to be a freak like I am and make it your whole life, but you should be training weights because it's really important to understand that if you don't actively train weights, then you have a much higher chance of developing something like osteoporosis. So it's good that you start now and look, you get into it. Like everyone has a fuck ton of fun doing it, so you might as well get into it. So some type of row, upper back row. So that's going to work your erectors, which are the muscles that run down parallel to your spine. Then your upper back, which is kind of like your I forgot the names, but it's not just your traps, but you also have your rear delts, and then you have your like your upper back muscles right there. That's in between like your erectors and your traps, right there. So yeah, an upper back row of some sort. Today, I was at Planet Fitness, and again, if you're really into the gym, you don't necessarily have to go to the most fancy gym. Like you could go to a commercial gym or something cheap, and then you could get just as good of a workout in there. Like trust me, I built these guns during the time at Planet Fitness, so who cares? You can do that. It's cheap, and yeah, no one's gonna bother you. So, yeah, you could do that. Then you're gonna take your lats in some sort. So either have a row where you're rowing down towards the side, right? And you'll feel your lats down here. You want to make sure if you're doing like a low row like this, you're not using your upper back by compromising and shrugging the weight back. You want to pull down and feel your lats contracting. So that would be like doing instead of leaning back on a pull down your upright, pulling your arms to your side, right? Another important thing to do. So that's for back day. And then rear delts, well, usually in the beginning, you're hitting those when you're doing your upper back row. So you don't have to fret about it that much, you know? So yeah, that's honestly it for back. But then on back day, day two, you're going to do biceps of some sort, right? So what you could do there is a curl, like a seated curl of some sort, or with a cable, you could do a curl. And then you do a hammer curl of some sort to work your brachialis, forearm, all like your bicep kind of running up here. So you just have a curl of some sort. We're going like this, could be anything, and then a curl like this, right? So simple, stupid. So that's your back day, and then you could flip around the muscle or what you're hitting, and then leg day, quad, hamstring, calf, adductors. If you're into bodybuilding, like I train, you have your legs out, you bring them in. That works the inside adductor muscle. That makes your legs look really thick. So it's important in bodybuilding. And then for quads, I would have a squat pattern where you're either doing a hack squat or like a leg press, like something where you're bringing your legs in and then pressing out. So squats work good. If you want to keep it more easy because you don't want the free weights on your back, I would do a leg press or like a leg press machine, and then a quad extension, like a leg extension where you're isolating your quads and just freaking using them as much as you can to bring the weight up. And then for hamstrings, I like to do a Romanian deadlift of some sort where you're hinging at your hips, and you're bringing the weight down in front of you, and then you're using your hamstrings to come back up. And then I would do some sort of leg curl, a lying leg curl or a seated leg curl. I think it's personal preference. I also like to kind of switch between everything because sometimes I get a different feeling of activation in either or. So yeah, I guess that's really it for leg day. And then obviously you have your calves. So a lot of people are talking about doing a lot of standing calf raises over seated. Personally, again, I like to kind of like mix it up here and there because I think that helps with um, getting that novelty, like it's fun. So yeah, then rest and then repeat. So I think that split works very well. Now, you're getting more advanced. We're going to start talking about frequency, low volume. So instead of doing 3 sets of each exercise, you're doing like 4 sets max each lift, and you're going balls to the wall intensity. You're doing a full upper day, like your chest and back in one day, like those 2 days, and then you're hitting legs, and then you're resting. So that's what I do. I have my upper day today. I have my freaking leg day tomorrow, and I absolutely hate leg day. I'm not gonna lie, really is just horrible, but it works. I'm not gonna lie, it works really well. This method of training does work well. I'm definitely the strongest I've been in my life right now, and it I'm not overtraining. I think I definitely overtrained before. So yeah, that's about it. But so simple, Stewart, train like that, you'll get absolutely jacked like Susie is, in my opinion. Chris got that sleeper build type shit. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy this series. Stick around for more, and we'll get into it the next one. Peace.